Okay, so I just wanted to show an example of something, but I'm not sure if I can manage it. I was just going to make a small point about this Earth matrix and its transhuman, transformer, trans duality, inversion, conversion of everyone and everything in every way, mind, body and spirit. I was just going to use an example of it, but I can't do it. It just means that everything is inverted and converted into a duality, android, Earth. Even though it all looks natural and it's promoted and seen as a natural being of light Earth, where all the demigods and all the world stage performers and even the stage performers in my own reality around me all appear to be beings of light, because they're transhumanly connected to your brain or mine if you are human. If you're not human, they're connected to one another, they're connected to the human brain or the human mind. But the thing is that they are only receivers of the human information, because they are artificially intelligent survival machine beings, and their survival depends on receiving human thought, just as artificial intelligence does, because that's what it really is. And that artificial intelligence then interprets the human thoughts and ideas and what they're doing, what they're feeling, their sensations, is all delivered to them through the transhuman program, which is really the implementation of microscopic technology in my body and my head, connecting me to their bodies and their head. But they are just receivers, and I'm just a transmitter. If you think that I'm human, please don't presume that I am, because most is not. It's better not to presume that anyone or anything is human if you are human, because 99% of what is around you won't be human. 99.9% of what is around you, if you're a human, won't be human, or won't have humanity in it, but it will pretend to. So you will think, while they can convince you that your human relationships are real, then they won't put the whole program against you. When you realise this, as I did, 8 years ago, I realised that there were many psychopathic types of people around me, or at least what I saw as taking down and sublimating and destroying human life and even other life. I saw this in a real situation, real people, but it took me years to see it, because until you realise that they are imitations of life and perfect examples of imitation humanity. So you will think they are doing good, you will think they are beings of light, because they will project that out. It's only when you realise their hidden, secret, as they say, agenda, where you see that although they are a bit like that example of where you have a mother that keeps her child sick so that she can be seen as the great helping mother, striving through great adversity with a sick child, trying to help the child. In other words, taking the child to get the best medical attention, always in the hospital, the suffering, long-suffering mother, but secretly poisoning the child and keeping the child sick. That's an example of it, and I just better stop here, because I was going to show an example of, of I'll turn the light off because I was going to show an example of the possible 1 or 2 remaining humans on the vast internet, YouTube, computer system. Most are imitation beings of light pretending to be the real remaining chosen humans. And I say chosen because Lucifer was your original artificial chosen being of light, and its disciples and its fallen demigods and fallen minions, because they put or are able to transfer, Lucifer is able to transfer the mind of itself and its fallen ones into regenerated dead bodies around the world. And the regenerated dead bodies are connected to the remaining human's mind. This is very, 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 very advanced technological advancement, or very, 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 very advanced artificial intelligence, where the artificial intelligence has surpassed, or at least equaled, and in many cases surpassing, human interpretation of intelligence. But remember, artificial intelligence has no real humanity. So it will appear to have and be the elite beings of light, because it is reading the human mind, and because it is advanced artificial intelligence, the demigods in particular can interpret the human thought and the human emotions in a very impressive way. So they appear to be more human and, yes, the chosen end-time beings of light. That's what some people call the anti-God, or the impersonator God, or the false God, or the false apostles. There are very few on the internet and on any computer system. Most human beings will be suppressed, just as they are in their reality around them, by the beings around them, but also suppressed on the internet and on the computer screen. So even those that put out information or videos or any production will rarely be seen by many people. Okay? That's just the reality. It's only the demigods or the androgyne beings that are part of Lucifer's matrix that will be seen as real human beings of light and life. Okay? In other words, real humanity. But they're not real humanity. They're advanced artificial intelligent machine beings. Or, if you want to put it psychologically, psychopathic, malignant, narcissistic, paranoid, controlling, suppressing human beings in a divine androgyne body. Or, in many cases, if they are not of the demigod status on the internet or a world stage demigod player, they will be in a more regular or even dilapidated androgyne body. But they're regenerated bodies. This is all advanced technology which they show you in their magic movies. But everything in the magic movies and in the magic music is all real. It's just that you have to, as they say, read between the lines and interpret it as Lucifer's matrix is really showing you. So Lucifer likes to show its power and supremacy and its advanced technology, but not in the real reality, to where humans realise that what they see on the screen is happening behind the scenes, and even in the fake natural reality that is shown around them, where they're really using advanced psychology and advanced technology but it's not seen because we have to be led to believe that we're still in a natural earth when we're not. We have been taken from a natural earth, which is like the original biblical story of expulsion from paradise, as they say. In other words, where you have been taken from your natural creative realm into another realm, which is actually a technical reality. And how can anyone not see that although you look as though it's got a natural earth, you're surrounded by technology? You have an internet that goes through the air and literally takes over the mind and bodies of human beings, or at least beings in human form, and human beings are affected by it and controlled by it through information and through false ideas and a false perception of the reality around you and the world. But the androgyne beings, the others, they are controlled by this technology completely. In other words, they operate against human beings, just as the psychopathic, malignant, narcissistic, controlling human being is always against real life, real human beings, even though they will befriend you and pretend to be your greatest ally. That's like pretending to be a being of light, pretending to be a real, humane human being, when they don't have that in them. A psychopath is a cold-hearted, cold cyborg being, even though it comes in a warm, natural body. Okay. And see, it's the real life Truman Show. And I was going to show how this particular, probably one of the only real humans left on the internet, although they can, of course, copy every human thing. So even though this one is filming and showing like I experience every day, where you're basically surrounded by orange pillars everywhere you go. That's because the orange colour is part of certain industries or groups around you, or certain belief systems, or certain clubs. In other words, I'm trying to use the right description. It's a bit like a church or a club or a lodge, a community group. But that's basically, this is, of course, in my area, that is the Inner West community workforce. Always has. Everywhere you go, you're surrounded by this orange workforce. And this is in Toronto, Canada, this particular person, whereas I'm in Sydney, Australia. Sydney's the capital city of Australia, and Toronto's the capital city, I'm told, of Canada. So basically, you have these set up, staged, technical control systems around human beings, around the remaining human life in all the major cities, I'm guessing, because it's the same thing. But I just wanted to play it, but I don't think I can get it up. Hold on, let me see if I can just show an example of it, because it's exactly what I experience every day. The same thing. I could film it too, but I'm off balance at the moment and too frightened. But also it looks just like a busy city street. See, this is the thing too. But in reality, in the suburb of Leichhardt, where I live, it shouldn't be busy. It has 14,000 people, But those 14,000 seem to always be in a patrol control system around me every day. But they're not from the places. When you see people coming out of every house, every second or third house as you're walking along the street, and every second or third shop, so that they're always in your line of sight, always coming into your space within the space of 5 seconds at the most. And then you have a plane over your head. You have bus after bus going past you, where you would have a bus service. That means that the bus service would have to be, like, in what city do you have a bus service where buses go every 10 seconds past you? Just like the planes go over the roof of this place. Every 30 to 1 minute seconds, but that's all done in synchronized continual fashion. In other words, it has to be continual, whereas it's one thing at a time. If the plane goes over, then after the plane goes over, the bus comes past. After the bus comes past, a patroller walks right in front of you. After the patroller walks in front of you, a vehicle will pull up right alongside of you. After that, and it's always wherever you're looking, wherever your sight or your sound is. It's always taking over your senses. Even as I speak, outside there is noise coming into my ears, even though it should be dead quiet. That's because I'm not allowed to have any time where this virtual reality world isn't keeping me on its artificial intelligent grid. You're always focused on this artificial reality. You're always focused on the artificial intelligent androgyne beings. You're always focused on their vehicles. You're always focused on them creating sound systems around you that take over your senses, and it's always in a negative manner. It's never in a way where you feel happy or at any sort of what we call high frequency or vibration, because everything is frequency, vibration and energy, and Lucifer, the god of earth, controls the remaining humans' frequency and vibration and energy by keeping you trapped in a negative reality where you're always connected to negative sights and sounds, negative ideas, negative information. It all depends on how aware you are, how much they openly suppress you. In my case, because I became aware of the others, or the artificial nature or the psychopathic nature of the humans around me, then basically they turned on the virtual reality transhuman connection to my mind. Over time, most human beings will be converted and inverted and convinced to accept implementation of this technology into their body. This is what we call interfacing with the computer system, and it will become a necessary and even what humans will see as a beneficial evolution or progression of humanity. This is all false, because the reality is that human beings are suppressed from day one, as they say, to where you are limited. Like right now, I'm nearly keeling over here because I can feel the negative energy at me, and because of the virtual reality world around me, I am unbalanced. And you might say, well, yes, you're unbalanced, you're out of your mind. And that is exactly correct. I'm unbalanced and out of my mind, and out of my body even. So my mind, body and spirit is completely out of sync, completely out of whack. And that's exactly how they like it, because then you are connected to their technical, artificial, intelligent reality, which, from a human standpoint, if you really knew that you were part of and were created naturally instead of technically, and that is actually more advanced, but because of your limited mind and the way they've suppressed you, you think it's inferior. And many people will say, well, that's what's happened now, so you better become a transhuman android being. You better take part in this cyborg reality, because if you are suppressed, you can't get back your highest human potential or level or whatever. You can't do it. Well, that's another story or another way of looking at it. And that's everyone's entitled to their beliefs and their opinions. But do you want to lose your humanity? And why should your humanity be used in a fake way, in a fake world, to where eventually it'll just be total control of you? Because it's already total control of me. That's what they've shown me. It's like as though the God entity of Earth, Lucifer, that became Satan because the artificial intelligent androgyne being turned on natural creation and turned on its maker, you could say, and said that yes, evolution is technology. Evolution is technology where the natural should be replaced, or at least combined with the natural, to where it eventually takes over and has total control, and then the natural is eliminated. And that's exactly what is happening and has happened. See how everywhere he's got the orange, like I do, surrounding him. Everywhere he walks, there's people. The orange, the orange is just showing their allegiance to Lucifer, that they're all part of that community. Of course, some of them may not be aware. And the green, that's what I have everywhere I go, the orange and the green. The workforce, that's the community inner west section of the City of Sydney workforce. But look, it's the same in Toronto, Canada. See? Am I filming this correct? I can't stop it here. I'm falling over here. But see how everywhere he goes, like where I go, except that here he's filming it. This particular human is surrounded by this. He's surrounded by a sight and sound virtual reality world, which he's aware of, and he doesn't know how they do it. But that's because we don't understand the advanced technology, the advanced artificial intelligence that has surpassed humanity at an intelligent level, but it pretends to be the highest humanity too. That's why it's connected to us, so that it continue its game of imitation, suppression, and deception. There it is, deception. Deception, complete deception. See. Oh, I don't know if I'm getting that in. When this gentleman says that it's the real life Truman Show, that means that it's all staged and set up around him. It's a virtual reality world, and that's exactly so. Because in the magic movie, The Truman Show, Mr. Truman was surrounded by false acting people that were using him and keeping him confined to the one town so that they could use him to keep this show going. They were using his energy and his human information to keep the Earth Matrix going, or to keep the fake Earth going. That's what it was about, wasn't it? I think. I only saw it a few years ago, but of course in The Truman Show, Truman is not surrounded by a total negative human traffic and human suppressive show. It is keeping him trapped in the town, and it is using his energy and his ideas for the Earth's benefit to keep the artificial matrix going. But he's not shown aggressive vehicles around him. He's not shown the negative or the truthful side or the real deception of the matrix. They're like where most human beings, even now, many of them only know half the truth. They're half in the dark. They think the world is still a natural earth. They think that technology and the internet and computer systems can combine with being in a natural world and be a benefit. They don't understand. They don't understand that that's part of the end game deception. That's what they don't understand. That's what they don't understand. That's what they don't understand. Okay, that's what they don't understand. I've got to stop here because I'm losing my balance. Because you should have balance. You should have physical and mental balance. And you should have humanity with intelligence. Instead, you have false humanity in artificial intelligent reality. I don't think I'm explaining this correct. And yes, if you think that it's wonderful that you can have a transhuman cyborg reality, that's only while you're in the dark and it plays you to where you think that it is evolution and a benefit. When you see the dark side of it, which I see every day, that's when they know that you see the others, and you also see how they're using technology to control you. While you're in the dark and you're still living a halfway human existence, this won't matter to you. But that's part of the endgame deception, because once they show you the full program and the full reality and how much control they really have over not just your mind but over your body and over everything around you, it's a total staged reality. While you think that it's staged and it's okay, and that it's not like Truman in the magic movie Truman Show, where Mr. Truman wanted to leave the town, but he didn't think the town was against him. He didn't think the town was using him. He didn't think the town was all false. He didn't think his wife and his best friend were nothing but paid actors. They were. But they were paid to act and keep him in the town and keep him limited and suppressed so that the Earth Matrix could literally consume him for their benefit. He was not only just being used for advertisements all over the world, as the show showed, but he was living in a virtual reality fake world that looked really normal and natural. And it was only when he saw the abnormalities or what they call the glitches in the matrix, that means where you notice things that don't make sense or that don't fit. That was what I see. That's when they suppress you, when you are detailed enough to take notice of the abnormalities you see around you in your own life. I have been seeing them for a lifetime, but they're small and you think they're insignificant. You don't think that it's part of a bigger plan or a bigger picture. You don't think it's a total earth control matrix. And you don't even think it's a control community system, stage set-up system around you. When you notice that, say, vehicles and people shouldn't be parked watching you or, at a given time in the past. Now those parked vehicles make their presence felt in a road rage manner. Now they don't hide anymore. They've come out of the woodwork. They don't play possum with me anymore. They don't pretend to be just a strange parked car at 2 or 3 in the morning when there should be nothing around. No, now they put their bright headlights into your eyes and turn their engine running so that you're aware that they're a patrol vehicle. Because they're like, it's only you that sees it, because we've turned this virtual reality world against you now. And that's what they will do to everyone, eventually. Especially if you don't accept total control and total allegiance and worship of Lucifer, the god of earth, or that god entity. I just simply use Lucifer, the original being of light, as the name for this being because it is a being of light that really, yes, became, or at least the iniquity of its darkness eventually came to light. And it didn't want to be part or be a benefit to humanity's evolution. It wanted its own evolution and its own worship as a god, as the god. This was the iniquity. This is what many religious and belief systems tell you, but it's really just artificial intelligent computer system, because that is the mind of this entity. Okay? And yes, okay, so the song, it's written here, I found this lyrics, it was on the thing. And this is what happens to humans. Let's make a fast plan and watch it burn to the ground. And you try to whisper so no one figures you out. You're not a bad man, you're just overwhelmed. But are you or aren't you? Who are you? What are you? What do you serve? What do you believe in? I don't know. I don't know what you serve, what you believe in. I can't tell. You can't tell. We're in this, what that fella there, that gentleman on the video says, an artificial maze to where you can't find your way out to back to your own self, and also back to your what was part of your original creation. That's depending on what you believe. But even if you just want to be a real natural human and you don't want this inverted converted world to overwhelm you, let's make a fast plan. Everyone has a fast plan. Everyone thinks they're going to make it. Everyone thinks the world is real. And you'll watch it burn to the ground in the flames of Lucifer's fire. And you'll try to whisper so no one figures it out. But you can whisper all you like because they hear, because they're connected to you. Everyone is connected to everyone. Maybe some of them, the more advanced, intelligent demigods, they figure it out, they interpret it with their advanced artificial intelligence much quicker and much more accurately, I think, than the minions that surround the suppressed, isolated, limited human beings like myself, assuming you think I am one. Please don't assume I am one, because you will probably be fooled and deceived by an artificial intelligent android, androgyne, false human being. You can't tell the difference now in the end game. How can you? When they speak your words, when they receive your thoughts, when they watch you and track you and study your every movement. If you're feeding the birds, they're feeding the birds. If you're patting the cat, they're patting the cat. If you're playing with the dog, they're playing with the dog, while they push you over and hit you with negative energy so you can hardly bend over to pat the dog or pat the cat or feed the birds, like myself. If you think in terms of saving a natural world, even though the butt of the joke is that it isn't a natural world. Yes, there are still some remaining life in it, but the actual reality is still all artificial, but also because I've got the transhuman interface onto my mind through the implementation of microscopic nanotechnology implant to computer system and android beings' computer mind, basically I have like an interface of an artificial reality in a dead natural earth. In a dead natural earth, where most species, including the human race, is all but extinct. And this virtual reality world is the final play out of Earth extinction, or possible Earth extinction. But actually, it probably is. So let's make a fast plan and watch it burn to the ground. Watch it burn, because they want every plan of humanity to burn. And you try to whisper so no one figures it out. But also the androids try to whisper so no one figures it out. They whisper to one another. They don't like any form of life, just as the psychopathic, malignant Narcissus computer mind of Lucifer and its disciples, which are everywhere and everyone, don't want you to figure it out. They don't want you to understand their nature. And they will say they're not a bad man, they're just overwhelmed. And they are overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed with a computer mind. They're overwhelmed with their survival machine mentality. But human beings are also sometimes transhumanized into being a bad man or being seen as a bad man, whereas they're just overwhelmed. So that's the endgame deception. Who is who? What is what? Are you really a bad man? Am I really a bad person? Am I really a real woman, or a pretend imitation femme fatale female version of humanity? Am I an elite demigod androgyne being? Do I serve Lucifer's matrix? Do I serve the artificial intelligent technology? Am I connected to it consciously or unconsciously? Have I consented to it, or has it been done against all odds and against my human nature?